In this video, I'll be taking a look at two devices in the budget market that I consider good all-rounders and you should be considering if you're on a budget. I'm talking about the Samsung Galaxy A22 and the Redmi Note 10. Two very decent smartphones that are quite difficult to ignore. But before we begin, take some seconds to slap the like button, and if it slaps back, share this video with your friends so they can help you slap the like button some more, because slapping is free. If you also enjoy this video, please consider subscribing to my channel. So let's talk about the specifications, build, and features. Both phones have glass fronts, plastic frames, and plastic backs, with the Redmi sporting Gorilla Glass 3 in front, while the A22 sports Gorilla Glass 5 in front. This gives the Samsung a bit of an edge over the Redmi in terms of scratch resistance and durability. You get a USB 2.0 Type-C port, a 3.5mm headphone port, speaker grills, and a microphone at the bottom of both phones, and on the left you have the SIM trays. Both phones sport dual nano SIM bays and also support for expandable storage using a micro SD card. At the top, the Samsung Galaxy A22 sports just a noise cancelling microphone, which the Redmi also has, but the Redmi also includes a second external speaker and an IR blaster. Both phones have their volume rockers and power button, which also serves as fingerprint readers to the right side of the phone. Camera placements are exactly the same on both phones, but the A22 uses a dewdrop camera notch for the selfie camera, while the Redmi Note 10 uses a center cutout. Both phones use a camera island on the top left of the back side of the device. They both feel almost exactly the same. They've got glossy back plates and plastic sides. Overall, they feel solid, compact, and have almost the same dimension. So for build quality here, I'd say it's a tie between both devices. Both phones sport 6.4-inch Super AMOLED screens, with the Samsung's screen refreshing at 90Hz, while the Note 10 screen refreshes at 60Hz. The A22 has a slightly higher peak brightness at 600 nits, while the Redmi maxes out at 450 nits. They both sport 20:9 aspect ratio, and up till this point, the Samsung has basically better specs on the screen. But the Redmi Note 10 beats out the Samsung in the resolution department with a higher 1080 by 2400 resolution, while the Galaxy A22 rocks a 720 by 1600 resolution. So for displays here, it's subjective. Some people may prefer a higher resolution, while some others may prefer higher brightness and a smoother display. That being said, both screens have vibrant pictures and they're quite colorful. Holding both phones side by side using the same wallpapers, the colors look practically the same, although the Redmi's screen is a tad bit cooler than the Samsung. But for quality, it looks overall crisper on the Redmi over the Samsung Galaxy A22. For processor, storage, and memory, the Samsung rocks the MediaTek Helio G80 based on a 12nm process with a Mali G52 GPU, while the Redmi Note 10 rocks a Snapdragon 678 processor with an Adreno 612 GPU. They're both 8-core CPUs and are both 64-bit processors. Both phones come with 4 or 6 GB of LPDDR4 RAM, and both phones have 3 variants with 4 GB of RAM and 64 GB or 128 GB of storage, and there's a third option with 6 GB of RAM and 256 GB of storage. Both phones come with Android 11 out of the box, with the Galaxy A22 having One UI 3.1 skin and the Redmi Note 10 sporting Xiaomi's MIUI 12 skin. On what skin is better, this is totally subjective and totally up to each person, but they're both solid skins and mostly clean and very fluid. Both have very impressive dark modes, satisfying animations, and beautiful icon sets. Settings page on both phones are also clean and well laid out. Overall, these phones are on par when it comes to the software. Both devices sport 5000 mAh batteries. The Redmi sports up to 33 watts of fast charging, while the Samsung does up to 15 watts of fast charging. From my usage, both phones typically last a day of moderate to heavy use, and you find yourself charging these phones just once a day. Both phones perform at par, with the Samsung Galaxy A22 gaining a slight edge over the Redmi, but this is a very slight speed difference in opening apps, and you'll only see this if you have both phones side by side. Also, thanks to that 90Hz refresh rate display, the Samsung seems slightly smoother and faster than the Redmi. Both phones rock 13 megapixel wide-angle selfie cameras, and they both shoot video at 1080p at 30 frames per second. And at the back, both phones also spot the same combination of a 48 megapixel main wide-angle, an 8 megapixel ultra-wide-angle, a 2 megapixel macro, and a 2 megapixel depth sensing camera array. They also shoot videos at 1080p at 30 frames per second. But the Redmi takes it one step higher by allowing you to shoot videos also at 4K at 30 frames per second. Look, these phones are practically the same in terms of the picture quality, and I have absolutely no complaints here. Images from these cameras are almost identical and they actually look really good. So what's the verdict here? Look, for my use of both of these phones, both phones are incredibly similar, and the only thing that really separates them are the display resolution, fluidity, and the software experience that you get from both of these phones. As for everything else, you're pretty much getting the same deal. Will I recommend these phones if you're on a budget of 100,000 naira and below? Well, yes, these are some of the better devices out there for the $200 price range. So yeah, the Redmi has a more compelling pricing, but they're overall similar in terms of pricing and features. And which one you choose to go for is up to your love for the brand and your pocket. Well, I hope this video has been helpful to you in making the right decision on what budget phone you want to consider. And if you indeed found this video helpful, kick the like button and make sure it screams in pain. And if it doesn't, share this video with your friends and have them kick the like button as well. And maybe, just maybe, it'll scream out in pain. If you're not yet subscribed, you know what to do. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.